You can't tell, but there's a cat. There's a cat in there, and he shouldn't be in there. Zuko, come on, bud.
Can we not? Can we not go back there, please?
Well, it's that time of year again. The middle time. It's time for the mid-year freakout tag. Could you? Okay, come on. You're messing with me now, right? So yeah, anyways, my name is Sarah Freshly. Welcome back to Freshly Read Books. And we're doing the mid-year freakout tag. I do this, I think, every year. Pretty sure I missed one. Don't really know. But in my head, I do it every year. And though I have done it, I do oftentimes forget the questions, so bear with me. Oh, I meant to have like my story graph ready to go so that I could actually look at the books that I've read so far this year. But basically, we're gonna be talking through the books that I have read this year, things that I'm excited about, and I think future things I'm excited about. I don't really know. I can't remember. I know like favorite books and stuff like that is involved. So we're gonna be talking about that, and I know that this is a little early because as I'm filming this, June isn't quite over yet. We have just a couple days left. But I'm also doing my Q2 video since so many people seem to really like the Q1 PowerPoint style video, very professional, very businesslike. So I'm bringing it back for the second quarter because I want to continue doing it. So I figured this one can just be a little early. And also everybody always posts this early. Like there's so many that are up as I speak right now. And I always feel behind even when I'm not really, because I usually just try to wait till the end of June. None of this matters. Anyways, let's get started. So the first one, how has your 2023 reading year gone so far? I think pretty well. I've read a lot of like bigger books than I normally have by this time of the year, so that's something. I think I'm behind on my overall goal for reading for the year, but that's not like a strict goal for me. I kind of just put it into Storygraph. It was like a book higher than what I read last year. I'm not really focused too much on that, but I think overall, like I've read some good books. I wish that I had focused more on my TBR than I have so far, but I'm working on that now, so still very happy. 2, what is the best book you've read so far in 2023? And I know this one is one that I knew was gonna be a part of this, and like, I don't know. I've already talked about it, but I really loved Bird by Bird and A Fine Balance. Bird by Bird is a nonfiction. I've talked about it a lot, specifically my Ted Lasso video, so I'm not gonna dive more into it. But also A Fine Balance, which I talked about in my Q1 video, was really good, like so good. But one that I haven't mentioned yet, but will be in a video soon, In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. That was my TBR spin book for this month, as in June. I loved it. Like I had so much fun reading that and I'm so excited to read more from her. It's like a mystery novel. You like know a select group of people that could have been responsible for this thing, and then it's just like so much new information throughout the entire book that it always feels like it's moving on at a good pace, and you never feel like you're just waiting from the beginning to the end of the book for like one specific thing to be talked about. It just kind of feels like things shift throughout the book, which is my type of mystery novel. 3, what is the best sequel you've read so far in 2023? So I haven't really read any sequels. Well, okay, I read the last book of the Wayfarer series this year, but I didn't love it, so that was kind of disappointing. I don't know, I thought that maybe the last one would have like a touch more plot in it than it did, but that was a silly expectation because that series, most of it has not been like plot driven at all. Maybe like a little bit in the first one and then a little bit with one of the perspectives I think in the second one, but besides that, really more about the characters, and this continued to be that, but it just felt very world buildy for a last book, you know what I mean? But I also read the first 2 books of the ACOTAR series, A Court of Thorns and Roses, which I know sounds weird because that is not typically what I read at all. But I had some friends that wanted to read it and like do the buddy read thing that Storygraph has, so we've done that for the first 2 books now. And I have to say, the second book was way better than the first one. I was a little hesitant, but I'd heard that a lot. But I was a little hesitant after the first one because I was like, ooh, it's not very good. Like it's already out of my comfort zone and I don't think it's very good. But the second one, so much better. So much better. So yeah, I guess that would be my favorite sequel so far, just because it was such a nice surprise after the first one. A new release you haven't read yet but want to? Oh, so I did a pre-order. I almost never pre-order books, but I kind of decided that I would do it for Riley Sager and Ruth Ware, just because I love their books typically. I get really excited to read their new books, and I want to be a part of the hype because I didn't join in on last year and I still haven't read the books from last year. But this year I want to like be a part of it, you know? So I decided to pre-order them. They came like maybe 2-3 days ago now, and I'm really excited about reading those. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. Honestly, I have no idea what's coming out. I'm terrible at knowing like what releases are coming unless I've been sent an ARC copy of them. So I'm gonna go with a book that I have an ARC of, advanced reader copy, which would be West Heart Kill. I am super excited about. I also have a book by the guy that wrote the guide, Joseph Heller. That is a different person. I can't remember now, but I'll put it up. It's called The Last Ranger, and I've started reading that already, so I don't know if that counts for this, but that's also not released yet, and I'm enjoying it quite a bit, so. Biggest disappointment of 2023 so far? Hold on, I need to scroll through these books. I was really looking forward to Cursed Bread and Pod, both books from the Women's Prize long list, and Pod on the short list, and I really didn't like either of those. I would have DNF'd both of them except Pod got shortlisted, so then I finished it. Oh, no, I know. Ender's Game. I was really excited to read Ender's Game because it kind of feels almost like sci-fi classic, or at least that a lot of people my age that are into sci-fi have read it or like read it growing up. And I finally read it for my Ted Lasso video, reading the books that are in season 1 of Ted Lasso, and I didn't like it. Good ending, but besides that, not great. Biggest surprise of 2023 so far? I don't think anything was really that surprising. I guess I was pretty surprised by how much I liked Bird by Bird. I didn't think that like a nonfiction book about writing was something that would like capture me so much, but it did. Oh, and A Court of Mist and Fury, the second book of the ACOTAR series. I was very surprised by how much better it was than the first one. Favorite new author, I'm gonna go with, I actually have it right here. Ashley Winstead, because of In My Dreams I Hold a Knife. I loved it so much. I posted it on my Instagram and I was like, I'm gonna read more from her. And I tagged her in it and she messaged me back and that was really nice. She has another book coming out this year, I believe, which I'm really excited about. But she also does romance. And so now I really wanna read all of her books. I get this way about certain authors. I'm fascinated by their backlog and then I have to read everything that they've ever written and then talk about it. 9, newest fictional crush. I never know what to say for this one because I don't really read those types of books. I guess there is one in My Dreams I Hold a Knife that I would say, but I don't really want to say because I don't want you to know any character that, having read the entire book, I would be like, yeah, that person. Because I want you to question everybody as you should. I guess I could pick one from A Court of Mist and Fury, but again, it feels kind of spoilery. Yes, for the first book. And scrolling through my other books, there's nothing. So I guess those are the closest I have. 10, book that made you cry, easy. A Fine Balance. I read A Fine Balance and bawled my eyes out. Oh, and Ducks. Ducks, 2 Years in the Oil Sands by Kate Beaton. It's a graphic novel. Oh, that one. That's so good. I think Jill from the Book Bully either put it on Instagram or on her YouTube channel and was like, everybody should just read this or something. Like, if you've been thinking about reading it, just read it. And right then I put a hold in at my library. It came in like a week later and then I read the whole thing and she was right. And now I want to say the same thing. If you're thinking about reading it, read it. It's really, really good. It's like one of those books that I was like talking to like non-book people about, you know? Book you saw on TikTok and regret reading. Is this a new list of questions? I feel like there wasn't a TikTok question last year. I'm not on TikTok. I mean, I see some stuff from Instagram, I guess, like that are reposted as reels, but I don't think that any of the books that I've read recently like came from there. There's certainly none that I regret reading. Most beautiful book you bought this year. Oh, what is it called? Entangled Life. I can't see the author from here. It's like down there at the bottom of my bookshelf, but I'll put it up, obviously. This is a book about mushrooms, I think. It's a nonfiction. Again, pretty out of my comfort zone, but I'm really excited about it. Also, I love the cover. And the reason why I got it is because it's in season 2 of Ted Lasso. So yes, I think I've responded to some comments on that video, but I am planning on doing season 2 books from Ted Lasso. I just have a little bit of other reading to do before then, but I'm going to be working on those soon, and I have already begun collecting the books, including this one. What are the books you need to read by the end of the year? The books for that video, I'd love to read, the Ted Lasso video. Booker, I'm planning on doing, and I think the entire long list again this year. I'm gonna see how I feel because I'm trying not to put so much pressure on myself to like do specific things, especially when I don't know how I'm gonna feel when the time comes, you know? But I'm pretty sure at this point that I will be doing that. To work on my 23 books in 2023 list, so I have quite a few left of those to do. And then my TBR Spin books, of course. I'll be working on those. Favorite video you've made so far in 2023. That's for sure my Ted Lasso video. Reading all of the books that were in season 1 of Ted Lasso. That was a lot of work and it took a long time. And the editing, oh my gosh. I think that that's by far the most time I've spent editing a video, but it was just a lot of fun and I was really excited about it like all the way through. And the comments on it have been lovely and it's exciting to see people like watch it and like it and want more of it. 15, a video you thought would flop but did well. I don't really make videos thinking that they're gonna flop. That doesn't mean that some don't flop, because that definitely happens. But like, I don't think there's ever a time when I post a video and I'm like, this is gonna flop. Because I wouldn't post it. There's been many videos I've started and been like, ooh, I don't like this. Or I'll film the whole thing and then I'll start editing and be like, ugh, this is just not what I was thinking or not the intention or whatever. So yeah, I try not to post videos that I think are going to flop. Any upcoming videos you're excited to make? The Ted Lasso season 2, of course. And there are some other ones that I am excited about, but I don't think I want to say just in case they don't end up happening. Lastly, 17, any channel goals before the end of this year? I know I have some, and I'm going to be talking about these again for like my Q2 video, but I didn't think that there was going to be a big goals question, like just goals in general. My TBR, and I just want to like get that number down more. I don't know, I have like video ideas in mind, but as far as channel goals, I guess just being more, or less strict with myself. I think I tend to like get really strict with the way I do certain things that like it doesn't really make sense. For example, I almost never do TBR or wrap-up videos, because like people do, you know, a monthly TBR and a monthly wrap-up video. And I almost never do those because most of the books that I read, I end up talking about in a video. But I think that I forget that some people like to know, you know, all the books that you read and just get like quick snippets of them without it being in some other format of a video. Or some people like to see what you're thinking about reading, even if they're gonna see a video later where you actually are talking about those books. It could be nice sometimes to have a TBR video where I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be working on these books for a video that's coming out. Like, that's okay. I don't know why somewhere in my head it's like, you shouldn't talk about a book for several videos. If I like it, I should. Or if I don't like it, I should. Or like, it literally doesn't matter. So yeah, I think I need to let go of those things. Anyways, that is the mid-year freakout tech. I feel like I did the best this year going through this than any other year. Maybe I am getting more comfortable. Maybe it's happening. I'll leave all the questions in the description. So I hope that you enjoyed watching this. Let me know wait, let me see one of the questions. Ooh, actually, I'd love to know the book that you're most excited about that has not been released or has recently been released, because I feel like I'm really bad at keeping on top of that. And so this could be helpful for me. Although maybe it'll just make me want to buy too many books. Tell me anyway. We can really put my willpower to the test. But other than that, that's it for this video. So consider subscribing, stick around. I think next week is going to be my Q2 wrap-up board meeting, very professional presentation. And I'll see you then. I mean, Business Sarah will see you then. Totally different. Okay, bye.